All right, geometry. For our final skill this week, we're going to be taking what we did in the first two skills and combining them. So the diagrams are going to look a lot like skill number 2, but the math that we're going to do is going to look like skill number 1. So our goal is ultimately to just find the missing angle measure. Now, the good news for you is that every diagram is going to have two parallel lines. And when two parallel lines are intersected by a transversal, we only end up with either acute or obtuse angles, and there's something that is always true about those. All four of the acute angles have to be congruent. All four of the obtuse angles have to be congruent. And every acute angle has to be supplementary to every obtuse angle. Let me try to diagram that. So in this diagram, this angle, this angle, this angle, and this angle are all acute and are all congruent. They will be equal in value. The four angles I mark in blue will also all be congruent. And they are equal in value. So if you compare any of the red angles to any of the other red angles, you know they're equal. If you compare any of the blue angles to any of the blue angles, you know they're equal. But if you compare one of the red angles to one of the blue angles, the good news is they will always be supplementary, so that's the only time you have to do some subtraction. So basically every question is either, is the angle equal, or do I have to subtract from 180? And I'll show you how quickly this can go. So I'm given angle LMK. It is 65 degrees. I know that is an acute angle. They want me to find NMK. NMK is one of the obtuse angles. So it definitely doesn't equal 65, but all I have to do to solve for it is take 180 minus 65. So the missing angle should be 115. And you'll see me type that in. Now, of course, we start at 0. Let's make sure our score improves. You'll read the next question. The given angle is 120. That's obtuse. HGJ, that is also an obtuse angle. Because it's also obtuse, I know that it has to be equal to that angle. So there's no math to do here. Our answer is going to be 120. And let's make sure our score goes up from 10. And there you go. I'll even jump ahead to where the questions are supposed to get harder to show you guys that the questions are still very, very similar. So, I'm once again given the acute angle, 56 degrees. I'm asked to find LMK, which is an obtuse angle, so I simply subtract from 180. So the missing angle should still be 124. Let me type that in just to verify. And we should see the score go up from 55. So, needless to say, even when the questions are supposed to get harder, they really don't. I can jump ahead again. And the only thing they do to try to make these questions a little more difficult is they'll start throwing some decimals at you. So guys, this should be a pretty quick section. Hopefully you'll be successful with it. That's all for this week, and I'll see you in the next video.